Sir, we are live now.
Hari Om. Namaste to all. Prostrating at the lotus feet of Brahmanishta Shrotriya Sadguru Swami Virajeshwara Saraswati and the entire Guru Parampara on behalf of all of us. Today's discourse on the Viveka Chudamani will continue. Om Sri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Sri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambham Sri Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashyakruto Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmiham Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwaraya. Last time we had stopped at the shloka number 432 in the Viveka Chudamani, the verse 432, in which Acharya Shankara Bhagavad Pada is giving out the lakshanas and attributes of how a Jivan Mukta lives in this world of Maya. How a Jivan Mukta, a Atmajnani, a Brahmajnani, a Samadarshi, a Tattvadarshi is totally oblivious of the visible attributes in the worldly affairs, yet he is living in the world, but he is not actually connected with this worldly affairs from the internal standpoint of view. He is always abiding himself in his own self, revealing himself in his own self. He is the embodiment of Brahmananda Swarupa himself, Sat Swarupa himself, and Prajna Chit Swarupa himself. So one of the last shlokas where Acharya was telling was Gunadosha Vishishtesmin Swabhavena Vilakshane. Swabhavena Vilakshane. Sarvatra Samadarshitvam Jivan Muktasya Lakshanam. So we had stopped there. Sarvatra Samadarshitvam Jivan Muktasya Lakshanam. These are the key words, most important words in the entire Viveka Chudamani we have to remember. A Jivan Mukta, a Atmajnani, always he abides in his own Samadarshitva. His mind is so equanimous, Samabhava, Samachitta. All the three gunas of Maya, Sattva, Raja, Tama, they are at the equilibrium state. The mind is so purified. The mind is almost Vishuddha Sattva, purest of the pure, so that all these gunas, they don't affect a Jivan Mukta anymore. He is a pure witness, a pure awareness. Sarvatra Samadarshitvam Jivan Muktasya Lakshanam. In this connection, I remember what our Gurudev was always used to sometimes take up the important shlokas in Bhagavad Gita and add up and hammer the point. One of the landmark shlokas in Bhagavad Gita, in the 5th chapter, about the Jivan Mukta Sthiti. But Lord Bhagavan Krishna Paramatma tells Arjuna, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shunichaiva Shopakena Pandita Samadarshinaha. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shunichaiva Shopakecha Panditaha Samadarshina. This is what Gitacharya, Yogacharya, Parama Yogeshwara, Lord Krishna himself is declaring. So he says there, Panditaha Samadarshina. Pandita in Bhagavad Gita, where Lord refers to The word refers to, Pandita refers to Atmajnana Sampanna, a Jivan Mukta, a Brahmajnani, a Tattvadarshi. How a Tattvadarshi, a realized master, lives up in this world. Bhagavan, Lord himself says. He says, Pandita Samadarshina. See, a real learned, a renowned, a person, a Brahmavid, a knower of the Brahma, who himself has become Brahmaswarupa, Atmaswarupa. He looks upon everything, the living, varieties of entities, animals, observable, whether it is a learned Brahmin, a well-learned Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane, with all the humility endowed, with all the knowledge, a great scholar, a Brahmin, a Brahmana, or when a Jivan Mukta looks upon a cow, an elephant, a dog, or even a dog eater, Shwapacha as it is called. Shwapacha word is used in Vedanta. In the olden days, Shwapacha means the person who is a dog meat eater. Shwapakecha means the same thing, Shwapacha. Those people, they were referred in the olden days as Chandalas. They were living in and around the graveyards. And whenever they are hungry, even they never, discriminated of any type of meat. They used to eat even dog's meat. Such people are called Shapacha. So Lord says, when a Jivan Mukta, when a Brahmajnani looks at whether he is a learned person or a lowly qualified person, in the lowest of the lowest rung in the life, or in the highest of the highest rung in the life, whether a person is an ordinary person, a Shapacha, or a Brahmana, a Vipra, a Dvija, or whether in front of a Jnani, whether there is a dog, whether there is an elephant, whatever it is. A Jnani, with the same equanimous mind, he looks upon all these different entities in the same way, because he knows that the Atmaswarupa, the radiating supreme Chaitanya consciousness, the Parabrahma Swarupa, is there in all these entities without any change. The same Brahma Padartha is there in a Brahmana. The same Brahma Padartha as Atma Swarupa is there even in a dog, or even in an elephant, or even in a cow, or even in a dog meat eater. So, Panditaha Samadarshinaha, Lord says there in Bhagavad Gita. So, here the point is very interesting to note. The insight is what Lord meant here in Bhagavad Gita was, as our Gurudev used to tell. In the Bhagavad Gita shloka, the last line is Panditaha Samadarshinaha, used by Lord himself. Lord never said there Panditaha Samavartinaha. Lord never said Panditaha Samavartinaha. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shunichaiva Shapakecha Panditaha Samavartinaha. He never said like that. He ended the shloka Panditaha Samadarshina. That means the point to remember here, what Lord specifically, very clear-cutly mentioning the insightful point is, a learned, a Paramajnani, a realized master will look upon the world, different types of entities, different types of human beings with different attributes, rich, poor, ordinary, below ordinary, whether a person belongs to higher level caste system or a lower level caste system classification, or whether is highly educated or uneducated, whether it is an animal, this type of animal or that type of animal, a Jnani will not discriminate, because he will see ultimately that every entity appearing different with its own ego factor, the body-mind complex. But inside every living entity, there is only one Sadvastu, Brahma Padartha, the Atma Padartha, Atma Chaitanya. Jnani will remember always that there is only one Atma Padartha in all these living organisms, both living and also in non-living. Chara Chara Vastu. But that doesn't mean that Jnani will behave Samavartinaha. He will behave in the same way with all the different entities. As far as the different appearances, morphological, physical appearances are there, if a snake is there in front of you, if a tiger is there in front of you, if an elephant comes in front of you, which is intoxicated, which is angry, which is restless, which is under its hormonal influence, then you cannot act thinking that everything is Brahma Padartha. Jnani will see the difference. Outer appearances controlled by their own senses, their own characters, their own attributes, their own ego factor, that is different. So accordingly, Jnani will behave. All different animals, they are different appearance-wise, morphologically, mentally, their mental makeup. Everything is controlled by their own attitudes, their own characters, their own gunas. Accordingly, Jnani will behave. But internally, he knows that there is only one Brahma Padartha. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma Upanishad Vachana. He believes in it. So that is the point here. Acharya also says, Sarvatra Samadarshitvam Jivan Muktasya Lakshanam. Wherever he sees in this worldly life, he will see it is only Brahma Padartha. The manifested world is nothing but it is manifested because of the underlying substratum, that is Parabrahma Vastu, Paramatma Vastu, godly principle. So the continuation, next sloka, same thing about the attributes of Jivan Mukta. Ishta Nishtartha Sampraptau Samadarshitayatmani Ubhayatra Vikaritvam Jivan Muktasya Lakshanam. Ishta Anishtartha Sampraptau Samadarshitaya Atmani Ubhayatra Avikaritvam Jivan Muktasya Lakshanam. ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು, ಜೀವನ್ಮುಕ್ತನ ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧದಿಂದ ಈ ದೇಹ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಶರೀರ ಹೋಗೋ ತನಕ ಈ ಶರೀರ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಈ ಶರೀರಕ್ಕೆ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಪ್ರಿಯವಾದ ಇಷ್ಟವಾದ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು ದೊರಕಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ದೊರಕದೇ ಇರಲಿ, ಅಪ್ರಿಯವಾದ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು, ಅನಿಷ್ಟವಾದ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ಸಂದರ್ಭಗಳು ಬಂದರೂ ಸಹ ಬರದೇ ಇದ್ರೂ ಸಹ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಅನಿಷ್ಟ ಅರ್ಥ ಸಂಪ್ರಾಪ್ತವು, ಬೇಕಾದ್ದು ಬೇಡವಾದ್ದು ಒದಗಿ ಬಂದರೂ ಸಹ ಉಭಯತ್ರ ಅವಿಕಾರತ್ವಂ ಸಮದರ್ಶಿತಯ ಆತ್ಮನಿ, ಯಾವುದರಲ್ಲೂ ಆತ ಭೇದ ಭಾವ ನೋಡದೆ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಒಂದೇ ತರ ಸ್ವೀಕಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಯಾರು? ಜೀವನ್ಮುಕ್ತ. ಒಬ್ಬ ಪರಮಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಇಷ್ಟಾನಿಷ್ಟ, ಇಷ್ಟ ಅನಿಷ್ಟ ಸಂದರ್ಭಗಳನ್ನ, ಶುಭ ಅಶುಭ ಫಲಗಳನ್ನ ಒಂದೇ ರೀತಿ ಸಮಭಾವದಿಂದ ಸ್ವೀಕಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದು ಜೀವನ್ಮುಕ್ತನ ಲಕ್ಷಣ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಹಿ ಸೇಸ್ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಹಿಯರ್ ಈಸ್, in the life, a Jivan Mukta is not at all influenced by the availability of any favorable situation or unfavorable situation, or whether he obtains the things which are required, which are favorable, which are desirable, or the things which he acquires which are unfavorable, not desirable. So whatever happens in the life, whether good things happen, in other words, bad things happen. Whether in the life there is a favorable condition, situation, circumstance, or unfavorable condition or circumstance, a jnani is not influenced, not bothered. Ubayatra avikaratvam. He remains steadfast. So, being without change in his own self, he revels in his own self, he abides in his own self, even when situations, whether they are favorable or unfavorable in life, he remains always stabilized and remains always calm. This is the Lakshana, Jivan Muktasya Lakshana. So he is totally not influenced. He is unaware of the external or internal things happening, since he is wholly engrossed in the experience of his Brahmananda. That is the Lakshana of a Jivan Mukta. Same thing, Acharya continues, elaborates in the next shloka. ಮುಂದಿನ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೇ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಪುನರುಚ್ಚಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾನಂದರಸಾಸ್ವಾದಾಸಕ್ತ ಚಿತ್ತತಯಾಯತೆ ಅಂತರ್ಬಹಿರ್ ಅವಿಜ್ಞಾನಂ ಜೀವನ್ಮುಕ್ತಸ್ಯ ಲಕ್ಷಣಂ. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾನಂದ ರಸಾಸ್ವಾದ ಆಸಕ್ತ ಚಿತ್ತತಯಾಯತೆ ಅಂತರ್ಬಹಿರ್ ಅವಿಜ್ಞಾನಂ ಜೀವನ್ಮುಕ್ತಸ್ಯ ಲಕ್ಷಣಂ. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಗೆ, ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಗೆ, ಸದಾ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾನಂದದಲ್ಲೇ ಮುಳುಗ್ತಾ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಗೆ, ಆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾನಂದದ ಸವಿಯಲ್ಲೇ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹವನಿಗೆ, ಆನಂದ ಸ್ವರೂಪನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಗೆ ಆತನ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾನಂದದಲ್ಲೇ ಮುಳುಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಚಿತ್ತದಲ್ಲಿ, ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ವೃತ್ತಿಗಳು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯೋ, ಯಾವ ಯೋಚನೆಗಳು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯೋ ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಜೀವನ್ಮುಕ್ತನಿಗೆ ಎಳ್ಳಷ್ಟು ಗಮನ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೊರಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ, ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ, ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ಜಗತ್ತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ, ಏನು ನಡೀಬಾರದು, ಏನ್ ನಡಿಬೇಕು, ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಸಹ ಆಸಕ್ತಿ. ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಅನಾಸಕ್ತಿ ಯೋಗದಿಂದ, ಒಂದು ರೀತಿ ಉದಾಸೀನ ಭಾವದಿಂದ, ತನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ತಾನೇ ಮೈಮರೆತು ತಾನೇ ತಾನಾಗಿ ಆನಂದ ಸ್ವರೂಪನಾಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ ವಿಕಾರಗೊಳ್ಳದೆ, ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ವ್ಯವಹಾರಗಳಿಂದ ಘಾಸಿಯಾಗದೆ, ವಿಚಲಿತಗೊಳ್ಳದೆ, ತನ್ನ ಪಾಡಿಗೆ ತಾನು ಆನಂದದಿಂದ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ ಜೀವನ. ಇದು ಆತನ ಲಕ್ಷಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ a Jivan Mukta is not aware of his own body, whether his own mind, his own thoughts may generate and they go. He will simply watch. He will simply watch. Sometimes the thoughts generated in his mind, when they appear and they subside, just like the waves in the ocean, and he is not disturbed by the thoughts. He becomes a witness. He will not react to the thoughts generated, to the memory generated by chitta, thoughts generated in the mind. He is beyond all these. So outside means what is happening in the world, even he is not bothered. If in surrounding a Jivan Mukta, a Jnani, whatever is happening in the world, internally is stabilized. He will not react. Outwardly, his sense organs may perceive information from the outside world. He may appear to talk. He may appear to react. He may appear to eat whenever he is hungry. When some food is provided, he will eat. And when the time comes, as for the bodily functions, urine is discharged, fecal matter discharged, everything goes on, and he is not disturbed by these activities. He is unconcerned with the worldly activities. No more he is involved in the worldly activities, wantonly, purposely, His mind is so pure and stabilized. But things happen and he remains just a witness to himself, his own body actions, his own body reactions, his own mental reactions, all these organs, he is a witness to them. He is no way influenced, no way connected. Very difficult to explain these things, very difficult to explain, very difficult to understand also what it means. See, for us, mortal people, ajnanis, when you look at a Mahatman, you find no difference. We find no difference at all between our behavior and the behavior of a jnani. So it is so difficult to identify who is a jnani, who is a Mahatma, who is a realized person, who is the enlightened person. It is so difficult. Because as all Mahatmans have said repeatedly, there are no special marks, special labels, morphological labels, or anatomical labels, physiological labels on the body of a jnani for us to identify that there is a mark, so he is a jnani. There is no mark, so he is not a jnani. So no such parameters are available. They are so subtle. The very glance of a jnani, what we call Guru Kataksha, that very glance of a jnani is so graceful, so radiating, so peaceful. It will change the life of the devotee once for all. If a jnani, if a Mahatma looks at us with all the love and mercy and compassion, our life itself is totally transformed. That may not be visible within a day because it is an internal transformation which goes on and on. That is why it is difficult to understand how and why a jnani behaves in a particular way in the lifetime, as long as he is living in the body, limited to the physical body, mind complex. It's very difficult for us, very difficult. Our Gurudev used to tell me all these things repeatedly, that you cannot identify that so and so is a Paramajnani and so is not a Paramajnani, because you are not qualified. Only a jnani will know about another jnani living as an entity in another body, physical body. Because their wavelengths are one only. They are tuned to the highest self. They don't discriminate. There is only one self. But for a jnani, ego factor comes in. Ahankara comes in. So it is very difficult for a jnani to identify all these subtle points, these insights. ಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳ ಲಕ್ಷಣ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪದೇ ಪದೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಗುರುಗಳು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಾಗ್ಲಿ, ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಾಗ್ಲಿ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯರಿಗೆ ಅತಿ ಕಷ್ಟ, ಸಾಧ್ಯವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಆ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನ ಇನ್ನೂ ತಲುಪಿಲ್ಲ. ಸಾಧನಾ ಪರಿಪಕ್ವತೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದಂತಹ ಉಚ್ಚ ಕೋಟಿಯ ಸಾಧಕರಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನನ್ನ ಗುರುಗಳು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅನ್ಲೆಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಹೈಲಿ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಫೈಡ್ ಮುಮುಕ್ಷುಸ್, unless we are uttama adhikaris, these points even very difficult for us to even understand. Repeatedly we have to remember, repeatedly we have to do manana, reflection on these points. That is why Acharya says, Brahmananda rasaswada asakta chittataya yatehe antarbahir avijnanam antah bahir antarbahir avijnanam jivan muktasya lakshanam. He is so immersed in the Brahmananda. He himself is embodiment of Paramananda, Nijananda, Brahmananda. What is that Ananda? Ocean of bliss. We cannot identify, we cannot define. It is so infinite. It is beyond imagination. It is beyond the level of imagination of our limited ego or intellect or mind. It is beyond our mental capability. So next Acharya continues here. देहेन्द्रियादौ कर्तव्ये ममाहं भाववर्जितः औदासीन्येन यस्तिष्ठेत् स जीवन्मुक्तः लक्षणः. देहेन्द्रियादौ कर्तव्ये मम अहं भाववर्जितः औदासीन्येन यस्तिष्ठेत् स जीवन्मुक्तलक्षणः. ಒಬ್ಬ ಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಹೇಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತನ್ನ ದೇಹದ ಇಂದ್ರಿಯಗಳ ವಿಚಾರ ಇರಬಹುದು, ಇಂದ್ರಿಯಗಳ ವಿಷಯ ಇರಬಹುದು, ಅಥವಾ ಹೊರಗಿನ ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ವ್ಯವಹಾರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ನನ್ನದು ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವ ಇರಬಹುದು. ಎಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ಸಹ ಜ್ಞಾನಿಯು ತನ್ನ ದೇಹ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಅಥವಾ ಹೊರಗಿನ ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ನಾನು ಮತ್ತು ನನ್ನದು ಈ ಎರಡೂ ಭಾವಗಳನ್ನ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟು, ಎರಡೂ ಭಾವಗಳನ್ನ ತ್ಯಜಿಸಿ ಕೇವಲ ಉದಾಸೀನನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವನು, ನಾನು ಮತ್ತು ನನ್ನದು ಎಂಬ ಭಾವ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವನು, ಉದಾಸೀನನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವನು ಜೀವನ್ಮುಕ್ತ ಅಂತ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಸೇಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ದೇಹೇಂದ್ರಿಯಾದೌ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯೇ ಮಮ ಅಹಂಭಾವ ವರ್ಜಿತಃ. ಮಮ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಅಹಂಭಾವ ವರ್ಜಿತಃ ಔದಾಸೀನ್ಯೇನ ಯಸ್ತಿಷ್ಠೇತ್ ಸ ಜೀವನ್ಮುಕ್ತ ಲಕ್ಷಣಃ. So he is a Jivan Mukta, he is totally free from me and mine complex, me and mine sense. That is, a Jivan Mukta is totally free from ahankara plus mamakara. Ahankara andre ego, myself, me, I am so and so. Repeatedly throughout Viveka Chudamani, this point Acharya has hammered and hammered and hammered. The main mark of a ajnani is we are always under the influence of our own ego, ahankara, due to the effect of Maya, avarana and vikshepa, the two potency of Maya, avarana shakti and vikshepa shakti. So that from birth to death, that ego, that I am so and so, it persists. It remains completely glued, completely. The mind is totally with that factor all the time in the waking state. All the time, till the last breath. Even in the dream state, there is a new dream body and there is a new dream ego factor. So the ego is so powerful. Either in the dream state or in the waking state, it is so powerful. It is always there, attached, like a shadow. Like a shadow. A non-entity, even though, but it is there. Though it is mithya, it is there. We are all bound by that ego factor. I am so. That body-mind complex. Sharirabhiman. See, ego means mind. Me, mine, status. I am a man, I am a woman, I am so and so, all the time, whether you know it or not, whether I know it or not, from morning to evening, in all the facets of the waking state and dream state, till the last breath, this ego is there. Why? The ego says, I am this body, I am this mind, I have this name, I have this status, I have this particular appearance. I am male, I am female, I am a young fellow, I am an old fellow, I am happy, I am not happy, I am suffering from disease, I am very healthy, I am getting aged, I am bedridden, I am stuck on the bed. All these upadhis refer to what? Me, mine, me, self, me, myself concept, ego. That is called aham bhava. What is mine concept? Mamaka. So where there is ego, there is always mamakar, mine concept. Where there is me feeling, the mine automatically tagged on. Mine cannot stay without me. If the me concept is there, mine concept also joins. ನಾನು ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ ನನ್ನದು ನನ್ನದು ನನ್ನವರು ನನ್ನ ವಸ್ತು ನನ್ನ ಜನ ಇದು ಬಂದೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾನು ಅಂತ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ನನ್ನವರು ಅಂತ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಕೊನೆಗಾಲದವರೆಗೆ. So when the concept of me is there, mine is also tagged. What is mine? These things belong to me. I possess these things, they are mine. All the objects in the world which I possess, they are mine. It may be property, it may be house, it may be any other gadgets, it may be a huge bungalow, mansion, varieties of instruments, and above all, wealth, money, land, investment, all this mine. And people, my own kids and kins are mine, automatic. From birth to death, it goes on. See, like a shadow, it is glued to our mind. What is glued? These people are mine. These things are mine. This is my property. This is my bank balance, my wealth, my mansion. These are my people. These are my family members. Brother, sister, wife, husband, father, mother, children, grandchildren, whatever you call, they are mine. Automatically, the corollary is others are not. So the mine concept is, ನನ್ನದು ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು ನನಗೆ ಸೇರಿದ್ದು, ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಐಶ್ವರ್ಯ ನನಗೆ ಸೇರಿದ್ದು, ಈ ಜನಗಳು ನನ್ನವರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಉಳಿದವರು ನನ್ನವರಲ್ಲ, ಉಳಿದ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು ನನ್ನದಲ್ಲ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನನ್ನ ವಸ್ತು, ಇದು ನನ್ನದು ನನ್ನದು ನನ್ನದು. ಸೊ a ಜೀವನ್ ಮುಕ್ತ is free from this concept of me and mine. So this concept of me and mine, the sense of me and mine, either in his body organs, or in his behavior, in his reactions in the world outside, he remains indifferent. No more he says, I am this body, or no more only these people are mine. Remember, a Mahatman, a Jnani, a realized soul, will never say that only my father, my mother, my people are mine. He will say, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. The whole thing is Brahma Swarupa. The whole world is manifestation of God. The whole entire universe is manifestation of God. The entire Brahmanda is manifestation of God. There is nothing like mine only. Everything is mine. I belong to each and every one. So I am there in everyone. Everyone is there in me. So his consciousness, his supreme consciousness, Parama Chaitanya, doesn't discriminate. He will find his own self everywhere. It's not restricted to only few people and the few possessions. So that mine concept is totally cut off. Everything is mine. So there is nothing like only specific people are mine, specific things are mine. The whole world of manifestation is myself. The same Brahma Padartha is there everywhere, manifested in the form of the world, in the form of upadis, in the form of names and shapes. All the names and shapes, varieties, what we observe, underlying is only one principle. They're all under the substratum is Brahma Padartha, God only. And I am that Brahma Padartha. So that experience has settled. So no more he is identifying himself with the body in the limited level, in the limited consciousness. So there is a paramount vast gem, and he has expanded himself, tuned himself to that universal infinite consciousness, Paramachaitanya, as we call Ishwari Shakti, godly principle, or God, or Ishvara, or Brahma Padartha. Nirvikara, Nirvishesha, Nirvikalpa, Brahma Padartha. He himself is. He is Brahma Swarupa himself. He is Brahma Padartha himself. So that experience is totally settled. So he is beyond mine and me concept. So he remains Audasinyena Yastishte Sa Jivan Muktasya. Mama Aham Bhava Varjitaha. He is beyond me and mine complex. Audasinyena Yastishte. So he remains indifferent. Audasi always remains indifferent to all happenings in and around him. If good things are happening, he is not completely elated, highly enjoyable with all the pleasures, good things. If bad things are happening, he will never feel too much of letdown or sorrow. He is always equanimous. ಸುತ್ತಲೂ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಪ್ರಿಯ ಮತ್ತು ಅಪ್ರಿಯ ಘಟನೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಔದಾಸೀನ್ಯನಾಗಿ ಉದಾಸೀನತೆಯಿಂದ ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಯಾವುದನ್ನೂ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಹಚ್ಕೊಳ್ಳದೆ ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತವನು ಜೀವನ. So that's what Acharya says. Audasiniya yastishtet jivan mukta lakshanaha. So that is the attribute of jivan mukta. Repeatedly remember in Bhagavad Gita, in so many ways, Lord Krishna Paramatma has mentioned about the nature of a Jivan Mukta, Sthita Prajna, Samadarshi, or Tattvadarshi, in so many ways, in so many specific shlokas. See, for example, in the second chapter of Sankhya-yoga, what Lord Krishna Paramatma says. Dukkeshu anudvignamanaha sukeshu vigataspruhaha Vitaraga bhayakrodaha sthitadhi muniruchyate. Second chapter, Bhagavad Gita. Lord says to Arjuna, Dukkeshu anudvignamanaha sukeshu vigataspruhaha Vitaraga bhayakrodaha sthitadhi muniruchyate. ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ? ದುಃಖದ ಸಂದರ್ಭಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ ಚಿಂತೆ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ, ಉದ್ವಿಗ್ನತೆ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ, ಒತ್ತಡ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ, ದುಃಖ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥವನು ಸುಖೇಶು ವಿಗತ ಸ್ಪೃಹ, ಸುಖದ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲೂ ಸಹ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಆನಂದದಿಂದ ಉಬ್ಬಿ ಹೋಗದೆ, ಸುಖ ಬಂದಾಗ ಉಬ್ಬದೆ, ದುಃಖ ಬಂದಾಗ ಕುಗ್ಗದೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ವೀತರಾಗ ಭಯಕ್ರೋಧ. ವೀತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರೋದು ಅಂತ, ಬಿಡೋದು ಅಂತ. ವೀತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ವೀತ ರಾಗ ಭಯಕ್ರೋಧ. ರಾಗ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಸೆಗಳು, ಬಯಕೆಗಳು. ಕ್ರೋಧ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಕೋಪ, ಸಿಟ್ಟು, ಅಸಹನೆ, ದ್ವೇಷ, ಭಯ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವನು ವೀತರಾಗ ಭಯಕ್ರೋಧ. ಸ್ಥಿತದಿ ಮುನಿರುಚ್ಯತೆ. ಸ್ಥಿತಪ್ರಜ್ಞನಾಗಿ ಒಂದೇ ತರ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವನು ನಿಜವಾದ ಮುನಿಯಪ್ಪ. ಆತನೇ ಸ್ಥಿತಪ್ರಜ್ಞ, ಆತನೇ ಜೀವನ್ ಮುಕ್ತ ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಭಗವಂತ. So what Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Dukkeshu anudvignamanaha sukheshu vigataspruhaha vitaraga bhayakrodaha sthitadhi muniruchyate. When sufferings are there, when sudden unfavorable conditions happen in the life, when unfavorable events occur in the life, when dukkha appears, we all normally, we are influenced, we are devastated. We start weeping, we start grieving when sad things occur in our life. But a Jivan Mukta, Dukkeshu Anudvignamanaha. Anudvignamanaha is not tensed up. Udvignamana, tensed up, tension-filled mind. We are all like that. We become udvignamanaha. We become totally tension-filled when even a small thing happens against our will and wish in our life. Oh, tension is there, stress is there. But how a Jivan Mukta, Anudvignamanaha, his mind is tensionless, worryless. Always he remains calm in any such unfavorable condition. No stress, no tension, no BP at all. His mind is always stabilized. Sukeshu vigata. When things happen according to our will and wish, what we have planned, when you get a lot of money, money flows in like a cascade. When you get your things, whatever you wanted, when you obtain, when you acquire things you really wanted, what happens? We all feel highly elated. So when sukha appears in our life, when good events happen in our life, when good things appear in our life, when favorable things appear in our life, we are highly elated. We feel very happy, very happy. We start, enjoying our life. We are so happy because things are there happening according to our will and wish. Sukeshu vigataspruha. But a jnani, how, when even things, favorable things appear, he remains vigataspruha. Means sustained, calm, unperturbed, not elated. We get elated, common people, ajnani. But a jnani is not at all elated because some sukha has occurred, some events which have brought glory and pleasure in life. No, he is not bothered. If somebody prizes, he is not bothered. If somebody brings a lot of money at his feet, he is not bothered. He is not elated. So sukeshu vigata spruha, that is the nature of a jnana. And how he remains? Vitaraga bhayakrodaha. Munihi. Muni means here. Lord says what he intends. A jnani. Vitaraga bhayakrodaha. Muni. Vitaraga bhayakrodaha. Vita means given up. A jnani has given up what? Raga bhayakrodha. Attachments, aspirations, desires, personal desires, he has given up. No more attachments, no more personal desires. Raga, bhaya, totally is not at all afraid in life or anything. He is not at all afraid, but we are afraid in so many ways. What is going to happen tomorrow? So we start worrying. Why? Because we fear. The fear psychosis is a part of our life, daily life. We fear for so many things, in so many ways. A jnani, fearless. He will not fear. Bhaya, krodha, anger. We become angry in our life for so many things, small things, big things, and everything, every day, till our last breath, I think. We become angry. Because we become angry, we become restless. And because of that, we become jealous. So more the angry, more the jealousy sets in. So our mind is totally becomes restless, tension-filled. It's all because of anger. See, we are angry at so many people. We are angry at so many things. When things are not happening according to my will and wish, my God, whole night I will never sleep. I become restless. Mind is totally restless. The anger sets in. BP rises. Health goes down. The work is not done properly. All the time that mood of anger is there. In that angry mood, normal work also will not happen. Always there will be infighting in the family, or infighting with the colleagues, infighting with the friends, infighting with the relatives, because I'm angry. I'm angry because so many things. What about Jnani? Never he remains. So he's Vitaraga Bhayakrodha. Such is the Muni. So Vitaraga Bhayakrodha Sthitadi Muniruchyate. So he remains sthitadehi muni uchyate. So such a person, such a muni remains stable, always in the equanimous mode. His mind remains equanimous, sthitadehi. Such a person with the equanimous mind, calm mind, is called muni uchyate. He is called the real muni. Lord says in Bhagavad Gita. Next shloka here. Vijñātātmano yasya brahma bhava shruter balat bhavavandami nirmuktah sa jivan mukta lakshanah. Vijñātātmano yasya brahma bhava shruter balat bhavavandami nirmuktah sa jivan mukta lakshanah. ಯಾವ ಪುಣ್ಯಾತ್ಮನಿಗೆ ಮಹಾತ್ಮನಿಗೆ ಉಪನಿಷತ್ತುಗಳು, ಶ್ರುತಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಉಪನಿಷತ್, ಶ್ರುತಿರ್ ಬಲಾತ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಉಪನಿಷತ್ತುಗಳ ಪ್ರಭಾವದಿಂದ, ಆ ಉಪನಿಷತ್ ಮಹಾವಾಕ್ಯಗಳ, ಉಪನಿಷತ್ ವಚನಗಳ ಪ್ರಭಾವದಿಂದ ತನ್ನ ನಿಜ ಸ್ವರೂಪ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆಯೋ, ತನ್ನ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಭಾವ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆಯೋ, ತನ್ನ ನಿಜವಾದ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಏನು, ತಾನು ಆತ್ಮಸ್ವರೂಪನೇ ಆಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ನೇರವಾದ ಅನುಭವ ಬಂದಿದೆಯೋ ಅಂಥವನು ಸಂಸಾರ ಬಂಧನದಿಂದ ಮುಕ್ತನಾಗ್ತಾನೆ. ಇದು ಜೀವನ್ ಮುಕ್ತತೆಯ ಲಕ್ಷಣ, ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಸೇಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್? ವಿಜ್ಞಾತ ಆತ್ಮನೋ ಯಸ್ಯ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಭಾವ ಶ್ರುತೇರ್ಬಲಾತ್ ಭವಬಂಧ ವಿನಿರ್ಮುಕ್ತಃ ಸ ಜೀವನ್ ಮುಕ್ತ ಲಕ್ಷಣಃ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಜೀವನ್ ಮುಕ್ತ, ಆಚಾರ್ಯ, ವೇರ್ when a person, by the authority of Upanishads, Shruti Vachanas, by the grace of Upanishads, Shruti Vachanas, he realizes himself, his own true identity. He realizes himself as the Brahma Padartha. He is nothing but Atma Swarupa. His own Pratyagatma is nothing but the radiating self, and it is nothing but the Paramatma himself, God himself, Ishvara himself. So there is no difference between his own Atma and Paramatma Swarupa. So Brahma Atma Ekatva Bhava, that has been experienced directly, first hand, by the grace of Shruti, Vachanas and Sadguru Upadesha, Acharya. So by the grace of Sadguru's Upadesha and Upanishad Vachanas, when a great Mahatman realizes his own self, understands directly, experiences directly that he is no more the body, he is no more the mind, he is no more this false ego imposition. He is the pure, supreme consciousness, Parama Chaitanya, called Atma Swarupa himself. And this Atma Swarupa is nothing but Brahma Swarupa. So he realizes the oneness, experiences the oneness first hand, the Brahma Atma Ekatva Bhava. He is nothing but that Brahma Padartha. He is nothing but Pratyagatma. He is nothing but Atma Swarupa. So such a person, such a Mahatma, such a realized soul, he becomes Bhavabandha Vinirmuktaha. He escapes from the cycle of samsara called birth and death. Such a person automatically qualifies to escape from this bandhana, bondage of samsara, due to the Maya. When the Maya is cut, the moment he realizes himself that Maya is cut, the Avarana Shakti and Vikshepa Shakti, the potency of Maya is lost, and he becomes released from the bondage of the cycle of birth and death. So no more he is reborn, because he himself is Brahma Padartha. So as long as, due to the earlier prarabdha because of which his physical body has taken the shape. So till that prarabdha of the body, the physical body is there. Once the physical body dies off, he becomes Videha Mukta. So while still living, he is a Jivan Mukta. After the death of the body, he becomes Videha Mukta. So he is Bhavabandha Vinirmukta, Sa Jivan Mukta Lakshana. So this is the mark of a Jivan Mukta. This is the mark of a Jnani. Acharya vehemently, repeatedly, in all these shlokas, he is coming to the same point. Next shloka. Dehendriyeshu aham bhava idam bhavastadanyake yasya no bhavata kvapi sajivan mukta ishyate. Dehendriyeshu aham bhava idam bhavastadanyake yasya no bhavata kvapi sajivan mukta ishyate. Sajivan mukta ishyate. Such a person is called Jivan Mukta. Mahajnani, Paramajnani, Brahmajnani. Which person? Such a Mahatman who is Dehendriyeshu aham bhavaha idam bhava tadanyake yasya no bhavatah kvapi. ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ಮಹಾತ್ಮನಿಗೆ ಪುಣ್ಯ ಪುರುಷನಿಗೆ ತನ್ನ ದೇಹೇಂದ್ರಿಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ನಾನು ಅನ್ನೋ ಶರೀರಾಭಿಮಾನ ಇಲ್ಲವೋ, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇಹ ಅನ್ನೋ ಅಭಿಮಾನವೇ ಹೊರಟೋಗಿದೆಯೋ, ಮತ್ತು ಎದುರಿಗೆ ಕಾಣತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ವಸ್ತುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಇದು ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ದ್ವೈತ ಭಾವ ಹೊರಟೋಗಿದೆಯೋ, ನಾನು ಮತ್ತು ಇದು ದ್ವೈತ ಭಾವ, ನಾನು ಬೇರೆ ವಸ್ತು ಬೇರೆ, ಈ ದ್ವೈತ ಭಾವ ಹೊರಟೋಗಿದೆಯೋ ಅಂಥವನು ಜೀವನ್ಮುಕ್ತ. ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. So that means what? Dehendriyeshu aham bhava idam bhavastadanyake yasya no bhavatah. So for a realized person, when there is no sense of I, sharira bhava, when there is no sense of I attached to the body, no more the sharira abhimana is there, no more ego is there, the ego is destroyed, and no more the sense of this and that, he and she, it, they, such differences are observable when he looks upon the mithya world. So there is no sense of this, there is no sense of I. That is duality. So he is beyond duality. He is beyond Dvaita Prapancha. Me and this. Two individual objects, this is different, I am different. You are different, I am different. So me and this concept refers to duality, Dvaita Bhava. So a person who is beyond Dvaita Bhava, when he has reached Dvaita Rahitya Sthiti, when there is no more duality, when he has Sarvatra Samadarshinaha, when he sees the same Atma Swarupa, same Paramatma Swarupa, same Parabrahma Vastu, everywhere manifested in different names and forms. Underlying substratum is only one, there is only one Vastu, no different Vastus or different objects. They appear different only externally in the sense of name and form, but what is inside, there is only one Vastu. So he is tagged on to the inner locus. Always he revels to the inner point, there is only one Vastu. He will see Brahma Bhava, he will see Brahma Padartha everywhere. Though entities appear differently, they behave differently in the world, living and non-living. He may observe trees, he may observe soil, he may observe a desert, he may observe mountains, he may observe lightning, he may observe different living organisms, small and big, different living animals and plants, all these entities are there. Dvaita bhava, duality. His eyes will see, but he will not perceive the duality because he knows the whole creation, charachara vastu, it is emanated, manifested from only one Mula Sanatana Avyakta Brahma Padartha. So, the manifested universe, manifested Brahmanda underlies on a single platform substratum Brahma Padartha. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. There is only one Vastu. There is only one Chaitanya. There is only one Paramavastu. There is only one Parama Chaitanya. And the same Chaitanya is outside manifested in different ways. Same Chaitanya as myself. I am that. I am that. So that feeling has set in. Total experience. First-hand experience. So, he will never confuse, never identify different organisms are different. So he is beyond duality. He is beyond Dvaita Bhava. So that is called Dvaita Rahitya Sthiti. Sarvatra Samadarshina. Yasya Prajna Pratisthita. All the time this word, phrase our Gurudev was very fond of, used by Lord Krishna Paramatma in Bhagavad Gita. Yasya Prajna Pratisthita. Sarvatra Samadarshita. He sees only one. And he is only one. No second. So there is always, he revels in the Advaitic state. There is only one Vastu, Brahma Vastu, Parabrahma Vastu, whatever name you give. Supreme Parama Chaitanya, Supreme Consciousness. All these words, all these words. So these are the points where Acharya is now conveying the most relevant, important, the core point in Viveka Chudamani. How a Jivan Mukta behaves and lives in the world. What are the marks of Jivan Mukta? What are the lakshanas of Jivan Mukta? Now, why is he's explaining in so much detail the insightful underlying point here for us to remember? We had to go into these shlokas repeated. We had to listen, try to understand what Acharya Shankara Bhagavad-pada conveys here. Why he is making so obviously, he is giving such a wonderful narration to the whole humanity by taking all the sum total of Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita points here. Because his basic Upadesha is all the mortals, all the ajnanis, also we should try sincerely to reach that state of Jivan Mukta. Step by step. Earnestly we have to try. Right from today. There is nothing like pessimistic attitude. Acharya is extolling these points. Look, these are the way a Jivan Mukta behaves. So why can't you try to inculcate these qualities? Fall at the feet of a Sadguru, follow what he says. Shavana, Manana, Nididhyasana. If you are sincere in your approach, if you believe in God sincerely, if your spirituality is awakened by the grace of God and Sadguru, these things are not at all difficult. Once the mind is determined with a chala, with perseverance, God will show the way. God will lead us to that. Sadguru will lead us to that. So these are the points we have to always remember. So instead of becoming pessimistic, these things, how an ordinary mortal, I can't be a Jivan Mukta in this lifetime, No, I cannot. These are very difficult. No, it is not like that. We should be optimistic. If I sincerely believe in Almighty, Ishvara, and its Anugraha, if I, with open mind, with a clean mind, if I put myself at the feet of the Lord, at the feet of the Sadguru, then he will show the way. That is the point. He will show the way. He will lead us towards that immortal. See, enlightenment is not actually a goal in the real sense. It is our true nature. We are returning back to our true nature. We have forgotten what we really are. Only thing we have to come back to our real senses. We have disconnected ourselves in the so many millions of previous births, identifying to this body, so and so, so I am so and so. So we have disconnected from the reality. All that is required is we have to reconnect ourselves. Jnana is not something you acquire afresh. It is already there. We have to open up. And the Guru will show the way. I always remember here the small snippets our Gurudev used to tell, and he used to recollect. You know, the simplest one line is Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's famous quotation. Even to remember God, you require the grace of God. To remember God, you require the grace of God. That means what? God is so bountiful, merciful. If I start myself, kneeling myself, bowing my head, sincere, He will show it. So, with this, I will stop here at the shloka number 437. Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Hari Om.